I always wanted to practice medicine, and then when it came to picking a specialty, it was a tussle for me because I had a generalist mindset, or I have a generalist mindset, and this causes me to be so bored. If I should pick a path, I get bored of that path in less than a year, and each year I go over different specialty that I want to be in. But then I stumbled into tech, and the good thing about tech is it helps me flourish in my generalist mindset. So I found a way that I could combine my passion for healthcare and tech, and this married to bring about my curiosity in health tech. And 6 months into being curious and basically obsessed about health tech, I have an internship in a healthcare startup. And your question is, how did I do this? In this video, I will be letting you in on my 3 strategic steps on what I did to get into my internship in less than 6 months. If you're familiar with the health tech space, it is no news that technology is gradually taking over a whole lot of sectors, and the healthcare is not left out. Contrary to people's belief that AI is going to take over doctors and our jobs, I think the competition is going to be between those doctors or those medics who are digital literate and those who are not digital literate. So heads up, start being knowledgeable about digital skills and start being knowledgeable about technology. Now, this brings me to my first strategic point, which is curiosity. Now, being a final year medical student, I got lost in a lot of emotions. Like I was trying to discover, what will I do after school? What's my life after school going to be like? And this sprung up a lot of emotions in me, from fear to anxiety. And then I remember the particular quote I used to stick by, and it says, "Nothing should be feared but understood." I went along with that knowledge and I tried to understand why I was being scared. And why I was being scared was I was trying to decipher a path for me after school. And I stumbled into health tech, and I got very curious about health tech, picking up a skill. I started by learning how to design websites, how to design applications, because I knew the normal clinician route wasn't something I wanted to be involved in. The normal clinician 9 to 5 route in a hospital, getting after medical school, you do your years of consultancy and try to do your years of residency and try to become a consultant. Now, I knew that part wasn't a part that gave me joy. So discovering tech was like whoosh, a leap of joy for me. So I started my research into healthcare, and a very important place that is good for research is getting on social media platforms. Now, my first social media platform I got on was Twitter. I assumed Twitter was a place for everyone, and it was a place that had good community. But research and my curiosity helped me understand that Twitter didn't have the best space for health tech communities. It wasn't the best place for you to get a proper understanding of what health tech was. So the next place I went to was LinkedIn, and that was the game changer. Twitter was filled with a lot of noise, a lot of banter, a lot of jokes, a lot of hostility. But on LinkedIn is a place for serious business. Now, not like there are no jokes on LinkedIn, but I really love the fact that these people were all about their business. They were not so much into the jokes and the banters. They were about their business. And this was a great place for a career mindset person. On LinkedIn, I realized the community for health tech was way better than on Twitter. Like the community of health tech in LinkedIn, they had gone far, transcended the levels of Twitter, and this was the place I wanted to be. Now, this brings me to my second point, networking. Being active on LinkedIn was one of the best choices I made for myself this year, and I mean, one of the best choice. One of another best choice I made was getting curious about health tech. Getting on this platform, I started familiarizing myself with the community. I started signing up for newsletters. I started signing up for. I started getting on podcasts. I started getting knowledge, getting ideas of the innovations in the health tech market, because there are a whole lot of them. I even got on some wait lists for beta testing. Now, beta testing is simply a For example, when a product has not been launched, they get specific people who will be like testers. And with my knowledge of UI UX design, I had a little idea. I had idea of what a good product is supposed to look like. So this gave me an edge to be able to apply for testing services like that. So I basically immersed myself in the knowledge of health tech, and it really paid. Oh, I learned a lot from this community. I started reacting to their posts. I liked, I comment, I reshared to my own network. And the extra game changing thing I did was I started creating my own posts. Now, this was a game changing step because aside from you learning, creating your own posts gives you a perceived credibility like, okay, yes, you know what you're talking about. And these things I was posting about, they were not high class, finalized knowledges. They were just my own learnings in my health tech journey. And this helped build credibility for me because people who attention I got knew, okay, a little bit of I had knowledge on what I was talking about, and it really helped to build my own confidence in health tech. So another tip is when you've learned enough, it's great you as well pour out your knowledge. You create content about this particular things that interest you. In other words, you becoming a thought leader in whatever niche you find yourself. And this brings me to my third game changing step, sending cold mails and follow up. Now, LinkedIn has a free mode and it has the LinkedIn premium mode. I applied, I was on the free mode for the start, and I applied for the premium mode. Now, the premium mode cost about $14 thereabouts. I could not afford it at that point. So I tried to get in for the free trial. They had the 7 days free trial. And in that space of time, I sent over 30 emails to CEOs of startups, to HRs, to recruiters. I was able to send, I think they give a restrictions of 14 emails, yes, that you could send. And I sent over 30, including the ones that were free, including the ones that were as a package for the free trial for the LinkedIn Premium. And in all of these numbers, I did not get any response from either of them. Shocking, right? The story gets even better. I did not stop. I continued networking. I continued getting into people's DMs. I continued sending cold emails to those that had no restrictions. I signed off my subscriptions because it was past 7 days. I stopped the subscriptions and I continued my normal networking, commenting on their page, setting notifications whenever they post, being active on their posts. And it worked for some. It did work for some. It was also a game changing step for me. It did work for some. Like I was getting a little bit of attention. I was creating the post, as I said. I was networking like my life depended on it. I was still sending cold emails and I was doing a follow up. In this period, among my network, I got to discover a medtech community which is called Bionable. I discovered Bionable through their medtech podcast. They have the medtech Bionable podcast, and they had a wonderful host whose name is Tatla, and he also has his podcast on YouTube where he talks about really really interesting conversation on health tech. I suggest you follow him if it's something that interests you. His link will be down in the description box. So I got a referral from LinkedIn on the Bionable micro internship. Now these micro internships Bionable offers micro internships to medical students who have an interest in health tech. So there was a particular internship opening they had. I just wanted to take a step and understand, what it felt like, what it means to be working in a health tech startup. And I saw the opening and I was like, whoosh, a dream come true. And I applied for it there and there. And I followed up with it. I got on their help desk. I kept asking, how is it going? And it's so awesome that the community was so welcoming, and I got really good replies on the progress of my um, application. And I even I reached out to their CEO, who's Aina Bogosta, the queen of Bionable, and I I told her I made my application on this particular role. I would love to get the role. I made consistent follow up, and it wasn't even up to 2 weeks. I got the letter that I've been accepted into the role for the internship. And I was like, oh, I was so happy. And it was very quick, it was very easy to do. And voila, 1 month into the internship, and it's been amazing. I suggest to you as well, you could get on Bionable. They're on LinkedIn. You can get on their site, bionable.com, if you're a medical student and if you're into health tech. They have micro internships where you can get a feel of what working in a health tech startup looks like. And if you're like me, trying to get a little clarity of if you want to get into health tech or not after school, Bionable gives you that platform to be able to do that. So just to go over my game changing steps: one, stay curious; two, network like your life depends on it; and three, send cold emails and always follow up. So there you go. I hope the video springs you to action. And if you want to know more about my journey in health tech, I suggest you follow me on LinkedIn. I share my daily knowledge about health tech and also how to get into health tech. So turn on the notification button so whenever there's a new video, you'll be the first to know. Don't put yourself in any box. Constantly amaze yourself and have a lovely time. Bye.